Does writing get you pumped? When your instructor assigns an essay, do you immediately leap into action like an Olympic athlete who just chugged an energy drink? Or instead, do you find yourself staring at a blank document for hours, hoping that the paper will magically start itself? Hi, I'm Mason from The Owl, and if you were like most people and fall into the second group, then you're in luck. This is the second video in our series on writing when you'd rather not write. In this video, I will offer strategies and words of encouragement that will hopefully get you, if not fully pumped up, at least on track for starting your writing assignment. The first strategy when you're facing that awful blank page is to break your writing task into manageable parts. Do you think I go into the gym and do all 50 of my 300-pound bench presses in one go? You may be surprised to learn that I actually do not do that. Instead, I break my workout into smaller tasks. Similarly, thinking that you need to complete your entire 20-page document right now will make starting seem much more daunting than it really is. I usually set myself small goals for each session and space my work over multiple days. This way, I take my writing bit by bit. So, which manageable chunk should you begin with? I suggest choosing any part of the text that you know you can write right now and starting there. It doesn't need to be the introduction either. I recently started a paper by making the works cited page, which might seem weird, but as I was working on it, I was struck with an important idea about how I want to write the rest of my paper. Of course, it probably won't work well to write a conclusion before you've written any other part of a paper, but still, starting anywhere is much better than not starting. Here's another suggestion. Try a pre-writing technique. There are a lot of pre-writing techniques, and a good one is called a free write, which you can think of as like stretching for writing. Just begin writing about your topic without being critical of what you write. Don't worry about grammar, and don't worry if it sounds stupid or if you will even use any of the pre-write. Just write whatever comes to your mind. This may help loosen you up, clarify your thoughts, and allow you to start your paper in a less intimidating way. You may even get some usable content out of the pre-write. Lastly, remember that even the best writers make terrible first drafts. Thinking that the first version of a composition will be good enough to use for a final draft is like thinking that without any training, you can run a 4-minute mile. In reality, becoming skilled involves much more failure than that. So if your first draft is terrible, not only is that okay, but it's great. At that point, you've taken the first difficult step towards making something that could become excellent. So why are you still staring at a blank Word document? It's time to get off the couch, put on your pink headband, and go win a gold medal! I mean, it's time to start writing. Good luck with your assignment, and thanks for watching the video.
Hi everyone, Miss Roberts here, and I am talking to you today about writing and writer's block. So you just saw that video with maybe a small technical difficulty in the middle, but I think we're okay. And I think this article or this video was a great connection to the articles I'm going to show you right now in terms of what to do when you don't know how to start, or you don't want to start, or you don't know what to say to start writing. So we're just going to talk about a couple things really quickly in terms of ways you can fight through that. So one note I want to make is the owl.purdue.edu website is a fantastic resource for writing in general. You should see it as one of the first things that show up whenever you're searching for writing or citing sources or anything like that. I just discovered these videos that they're making now, but I've been using Purdue's online writing lab, which is OWL, for years and years and years and years. So that's where I found everything that we're going to talk about today, including that video. And we are going to just talk really quickly about ways you can write and how you can fight through when things feel difficult. So first of all, it's important to remember that everybody struggles to write, even writers. Writer's block has a name because it's a thing. It's just like how in anything, sometimes you get tired of doing it or you don't know how to start and therefore you just don't. So if you felt difficulty writing or you feel resistance to writing, that is normal. However, we do really want to fight through that feeling, mainly because writing is a vital part of how you will achieve success both in K-12 education and or if you go on to collegiate level education. Writing is key and necessary in all of those things. So it's a necessary evil, whether you love it or not. It's not going anywhere. So it's our job to make you feel comfortable with it and to understand that writing is always a process. So the typical way people will write an essay is the textbook way that we want everybody to feel great about, and that is thinking about what you want to write about, writing an outline, writing your first draft, revising, but that's just not the perfect world that we have. So a couple things that you can do, according here to this website on OWL, is first just ask yourself, what it is you want to say. And so this might look different in a variety of different settings, right? If you're going to research something and you have open topic, then you might have to think about what is most realistic to write, and kind of think through that. But if you've been given an assignment to complete, then that kind of takes that out of there, and instead you just might want to ask yourself, like, what is it that I have to say about this thing? Now, it doesn't matter to me if you say I have nothing to say, because I will not believe you. I have never met a child or a teenager who doesn't have more to say. So I don't believe that you have nothing to say. I believe that maybe you don't care about it as much that you don't want to say anything. However, there is something that you can say. One of the best ways to start if you are struggling is to brainstorm. And there are a variety of ways to brainstorm. Some people like to make bubble maps or jotting down kind of like outline lists. I don't really like to brainstorm like that. I like to brainstorm by just going in a free write, and that is something that the video mentioned. I just like to write everything I know about what it is I'm trying to talk about, and I don't hold myself to any expectations in terms of how it should look. And then sometimes, even in what I'm writing, I find something I can use for my paper. So that's just kind of one thing that you can do, and we'll talk about some others here. I'm going to take you over to another screen. So some cures for writer's block, and we looked at these invention strategies over on the last screen, and I'm also going to have all of these linked for you. Let's see. Oh, we're going to click out of that before that starts. One thing I want to talk about is if you've chosen or been assigned a topic that bores you. So I have spent a lot of my time teaching English, teaching 11th grade language and composition, which is an AP course. And what I used to tell my students is you can't argue with the prompts. So if you've been given an assignment, and you don't love it, you don't care about it, I get it. Life's tough sometimes, but we just have to put on our helmet, keep going, because at the end of the day, some things we might be able to change, right? Like if the topic, if it's clear that there's some leeway in the topic, you could always email me or Miss Cardston. We could talk about it. But a lot of the writing in the modules right now is so connected to the meat of the module that there's really not a lot of movement in what can be written. So in that situation, not saying I don't care, and I'm always willing to talk to you if you need to about your writing before you do it. But if the prompt says you are writing about this thing, and let's say you're taking your AP exam, the day of the AP exam that gives you all of your credit or none of your credit for the course, and you want to argue with the prompt, that's not going to get you what you want, right? Like you just have to accept the prompt and go forward. So I think the first thing that can really help, and I know it sucks, is saying, I can't control this. I just have to write about it. And that is something that's going to be part of your education, it's not always going to be things that you are passionate about writing about. Now, of course, I would love it, and I'm hoping to make more ways for you to write about things you love or are interested in. But sometimes that's just not how it falls. So instead of saying, I just don't want to do this or I don't like it, you can just say, this is just what I have to write about. It's just what I have to do. I don't want to do the dishes every day. The dishes just have to be done every day. So at some point, we just have to kind of fight through that. Now, if you don't understand the assignment, of course, or the prompt, always talk to us. Don't just guess. Okay, if that's the barrier in writing, then send us an email. Okay, we're going to be here to help you. Now, this one is a big one. If you're worried that you'll write the wrong thing, I'm going to tell you right here and right now, there is no wrong thing. Now, we will get there. Eventually, we will revise and we will take out the wrong things and we will make them better and we will improve sentences. But when you are starting your drafting process, you are just going to go. It's not about right or wrong. Really, we've mentioned this before, so much of literature is about interpretation, and as long as you have evidence, it really can't be wrong. And then finally, if you're worried about your sentences looking a certain way, or you're obsessing over your punctuation, or your, like those types of things. So we have this tier of writing, and when you're writing for timed settings, so that means like you have to write on demand. I'm giving you the prompt right now and you need to write it. We have higher order concerns and lower order concerns. Higher order concerns are, did you answer the question? Did you give us evidence? Did you understand the text? Could you explain yourself? Lower order concerns are grammar, spelling, punctuation. That is not to say these things don't matter, because they matter, but they are not the most important thing. We will catch your errors when we go back and finalize or revise or peer edit, but we don't have to have it perfect. Now, let's talk about where all these things I've just said have failed you, and you are so stressed out, you can't even put words on pages. It happens. Take a break. Don't make me sing it like Hamilton, but take a break. Sitting and staring angrily at your computer and or the piece of paper, not going to make magic happen. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. I really suggest eating a snack or doing something you enjoy and then coming back to it. Putting your writing in manageable parts, like the video suggested, may also help that. But at worst case, you should send an email to me or Miss Karsten and say, I don't even know how to start this, and we are going to be there to help you, whether it's making a meeting to talk about it or just sending you an email with some guidance. You are not alone in it. But what you are alone in is your thoughts getting on the page. So this is what I have to tell my writers all the time. I cannot tell you what you think. And I will not tell you what you think. So I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to push you to tell me what you think, and then you're going to put those thoughts down on paper. You are those thoughts. I can't give them to you. Then it's my writing, right? So that's really what you need to remember is like, if I can't get my thoughts out of my head, then I need to reach out for some help. Now, let's really quickly talk about just some quick other things you can do. You could always find some research or quotes. A suggestion here is to change the audience. So pretend you're writing to a friend. Let's see. Some people talk about even drawing if you are a visual learner. Now, one of the best things I can say is to open up your phone or a screen on your computer and record yourself just talking about what you want to say. Odds are it will feel easier for you to talk about it than it will to write about it. But once you've said it, you can take all those thoughts and write them down. Okay? And then really in setting manageable goals, one of the best things that you can do for yourself as a writer is be realistic. don't make yourself write for 45 minutes if you don't like to write for 45 minutes. My suggestion was always 12. 12 minutes is like the gold standard of middle and high school students for as long as you can focus. It can get a little bit closer to 20, but 12 is always a good, like, work hard for 12 minutes and then take a break, and then work hard for 12 minutes and then take a break. Remember that even if I've put in a 0 for the assignment because the due date has passed, that doesn't mean you still can't turn it in and you don't get penalized. It's really about getting the work done. So please don't hesitate to reach out for help, even if what you say is, I don't even know where to begin, because we're going to know where to help you. But we're not psychic, so we don't know to help you if we don't know to help you. Okay? I know you are all fantastic writers. You are growing so much as writers every single day. Please believe in that and trust that this is kind of part of life, is feeling like writing is just too hard or that you don't know where to start. But you can do it. You can do hard things. Okay? So thank you for joining me today on our talk about writing, and I will make sure you have all of these links to look at as well. Have a great day.